'Cause we the baddest band in town. But child, can you stand the weather? Here come the boys from the Puget Sound.
I'm Gary, and this is Coasting with Culture, which is all about combining theme park visits and riding roller coasters with various cultural experiences around the world. Previously, I made the trek down to Las Vegas to see the debut of the Seattle Kraken in the NHL, while also enjoying some other Vegas experiences like a spin on the Big Apple coaster with its new trains and visiting Area 15. Next, it's time for one more early season experience, which means heading back into downtown Seattle as the Kraken make their debut for their home fans. We'll check out their new home, which has historic ties to an event that led to the creation of the complex it sits in, and several iconic structures. The team's first home game was one I really had my doubts about being able to attend. Between the high demand for season tickets and the huge interest that would surely exist for the team's debut, I figured I'd be looking at buying a ticket from the resale market, which early on had most everything at over $1,000. A bit too rich for my blood. But at some point, I received an email about a free verified fans list through Ticketmaster, which would grant access to remaining tickets to individual games before they were put up for sale to the general public. Thinking this might be my best chance to get into that first home game, I signed up and received an email the day before that special sale. When I got access to the sale, I went right to that home opener and was shocked to find they still had tickets available. So I grabbed the first two I could get, and after a few tense minutes, hoping my phone signal would carry through, I received confirmation of my purchase and was officially going to see the Kraken make their debut at home. After getting to see them play for the first time in Las Vegas, there were a few things that kept my excitement up for this game. From heading to the bar to watch their game against Nashville, which was their first ever win, to seeing the special Kraken plane of Alaska Airlines before my quick Chicago trip. It was a sleepless night before that home opener, but at this point, not even a lack of sleep was going to keep me from that game. The day has finally come where the Seattle Kraken are going to make their home debut. I'll be the first to admit that I was incredibly fortunate to be able to get to one of the preseason games on top of being able to go to the first game down in Vegas, and now to be able to go to the first home game tonight here in Seattle. And I gotta tell you, I've been excited about this one just because it's a different atmosphere when you get to see your team at home with other fans. And it's going to be an entirely new experience for everybody because they've never done this before. So this is going to be an entirely new thing, and I'm really excited to get a chance to see what it's like. With parking in downtown Seattle being quite pricey, the better option was to catch the light rail from near SeaTac Airport into downtown. If you happen to be visiting Seattle, this is an excellent way to get into the city without having to contend with traffic, as there are multiple stops near many of the best places to explore. There's even a nice view of the city after passing through the Beacon Hill Tunnel. While the light rail won't take you right to the location of the arena, a quick transfer at Westlake Center to the Seattle monorail will get you there. Because of the anticipated demand for the monorail before and after events, a decent amount of money was invested into renovating the station at Westlake Center. This is one of several remnants of the 1962 World's Fair, which Seattle put on to showcase itself as a leader in technology. The event led to the creation of the Seattle Center complex, where you'll find some of the more popular attractions of the city, from the Museum of Pop Culture to the Chihuly Glass Garden and Museum, and of course, an icon from that same World's Fair and a symbol of Seattle, the Space Needle. But this visit was all about going to the newest feature of the complex, Climate Pledge Arena, the home of the Seattle Kraken. While Climate Pledge Arena is, for all intents and purposes, a brand new building, its roof is a historic landmark that began as the top of a pavilion for the World's Fair, then became a sports venue as the Seattle Center Coliseum, and renovated as the Key Arena. To make it the building it is today, they lifted the roof on special jacks, demolished the rest of the arena, and built the new one underneath, placing the roof on top. The outside windows are also original, save for the new Alaska Airlines atrium on the south end. One of the neatest aspects of the new arena is the ability to catch a peek inside of the seating bowl and the scoreboards from outside.
One of the things I absolutely love about this project is how they managed to preserve that rich Seattle history from the World's Fair of 1962. And not only have they preserved the roof of the arena, but they've also managed to turn it into a brand new modern facility that is going to be an excellent place for a hockey game.
There were a few other changes that came with this rebuild that we'll see inside. As I was scoping out the building, I had another moment that brought me back to the days of becoming a hockey fan. You may remember from the first vlog I mentioned going to see Game 5 of the playoffs between the New Jersey Devils and the Carolina Hurricanes back in 2002, when Canes goaltender Kevin Weeks had an incredible performance that helped lead them to victory. After his playing career, he went into television and is now a part of ESPN's hockey broadcasts. Well, imagine my surprise that just shy of 20 years after seeing him have that incredible performance, I'm walking around this brand new arena built in Seattle for the new home team, and who happens to be outside of it? None other than Kevin Weeks.
Little did I expect that I would be coming to the arena early to scope everything out, that I would actually run into Kevin Weeks. This has been freaking awesome, and the day has barely even started. Oh, I can't wait to dive into what else is going on. I can't wait to go to this game. Oh, this is so much fun.
With lunchtime quickly approaching, I stopped by a Seattle icon a few blocks away. Dick's is a classic burger restaurant with several drive-in locations in and near Seattle, and this is one of the few dine-in locations they have. Although they weren't doing dine-in today, as they were preparing for some special pre-game concerts and eventually a watch party for the first home game. But they were still doing carry-out, meaning you could still get a bag of Dick's. There were a few other special events going on to celebrate the first home game, including the nearby Seattle International Film Festival group hosting multiple screenings of the documentary Willie, the story of Willie O'Ree, who was the first black player in the National Hockey League. It was a fascinating film, learning about his life and career and the role he's played in helping to promote the sport to those from disadvantaged communities. As the movie ended, I tracked down my friend Brittany, who was joining me for the game, and we made our way to the line to enter Climate Pledge Arena for the first time. This is one of the most unique arenas, as the event floor sits over 50 feet below street level. Most arenas you need to go up to the upper decks, but in this building, you have to go down to the lower decks. This design makes the Kraken team name even more fitting because of having to go deeper to get to the rink. The arena also features a variety of new bells and whistles, including the use of grab-and-go and self-service kiosks to help lower the amount of waiting for food and beverage. Some of the grab-and-go stands utilize the same technology found at Amazon's Go stores, as shown in a video from GeekWire at opening night. If you happen to watch that video carefully, you may see a familiar fan walking by. One of the major focuses of this building is their effort to be more environmentally friendly than arenas of the past, hence the name Climate Pledge. Some of these efforts are more easily seen than others. If you buy a draft beer, most places serve it in a plastic cup, but in an effort to reduce the use of plastics, their beer cups are aluminum, as are their bottles of water, since aluminum is easier to recycle than plastic. Back outside of the atrium, there are solar panels that provide some of the arena's electricity, making it one of the first sporting venues to be powered only from clean energy sources. Speaking of outside, anyone familiar with Seattle knows that it tends to rain here for much of the year. Well, this arena takes advantage of that rain. As the precipitation falls onto the roof, it's collected, filtered, and later used for creating the ice that makes the rink for hockey games. Speaking of hockey games, there was a pretty big one taking place tonight. Right from the warm-ups, fans were incredibly pumped for this game, and the excitement continued throughout the night.
Please welcome to the ice, your Seattle Kraken!
Over the course of the contest, There were a number of special guest appearances, from pre-game speeches by the NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman and Kraken CEO Ted Lewicki, who revealed that the team retired the number 32 in honor of the team being the 32nd franchise of the league and the 32,000 fans who made season ticket deposits the first day they were accepted. This then led to the introduction of the staff and players of the team for the home crowd, and then the national anthems, with the American National Anthem being sung by Seattle's own Ann Wilson from the band Heart. Throughout the game, appearances were made by other Seattle celebrities, including WNBA legend Sue Bird, the rapper Macklemore, former Seattle Supersonics Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, and Seattle Seahawks players DK Metcalf, Bobby Wagner, and Russell Wilson with his wife Sierra. As for the game, it started out a lot better than the Vegas game the week before, as the Kraken struck first on a Vince Dunn goal with only 3.2 seconds left in the first period, marking the first ever goal of the new arena. This was also the first time that the goal horn sounded, which was the same horn that had previously operated on the recently retired Washington State ferry called the Hyak, a vessel that crossed the Puget Sound many times over during more than 50 years of service. It wasn't super loud that night, but I could still hear it and absolutely love that every time the Kraken score, we'll hear the horn of a ferry that I've ridden many times over crossing the Puget Sound. Vancouver would tie it in the second period, then around 5 minutes into the third, Captain Mark Giordano gave the Kraken the lead back with a rocket from the outside. Unfortunately, things went off the rail as Vancouver would score 2 unanswered goals to take the lead and then score an empty netter to secure their victory in this first Seattle home game. Yeah, it was a disappointing end to an incredibly exciting night, but in all honesty, there were a lot of great moments to take away, not just from this game, but from my entire experience with the arrival of our new hockey team. I will always appreciate the opportunities I had to take part in some of the special events and first games, and the chance to meet those who were connected to my hockey fan past. It's going to be fun to see what happens as this first season continues and the future seasons follow. And now that we have a team of our own here in the Pacific Northwest, all that I have left to say is let's go Kraken. Thank you for watching this Coasting with Culture video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button below to see future videos here on YouTube like these ones, which you may enjoy as well. Additional content can be found at coastingwithculture.com, and you can also follow Coasting with Culture on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for announcements, previews, and updates. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care and safe travels.